well, I'm not going to Sweden anymore. Hey up guys, so today's movie that I'm reviewing is the new film written and directed by Ari Aster. He's the guy that gave the world the harrowing horror film Hereditary, a film that explored the themes of grief and family. His new film, Midsommar, also explores similar themes, but with a blindingly bright Swedish summer solstice as the backdrop to this surreal nightmare dressed like a daydream. Florence Pugh plays American college student Dani. She's been in a wilting relationship with her boyfriend Christian, played by Reynor. It's a relationship that instantly feels doomed to fail. It's very one-sided. Dani is very much invested in the relationship, but Christian already seems like he's halfway out of the relationship. The only reason that he sticks around with Dani is because she's recently suffered a tragic loss within her family, and he feels obliged to stay with her while she goes through the grief. Anyway, Dani kind of ends up crashing an all-boys trip to Hälsingland, Sweden, with Christian and a few of his uni friends, which none of them are particularly happy about. There's the well-spoken anthropology student Josh, who's played by The Good Place's William Jackson Harper. There's the insensitive, horny prat Mark, who's played by Will Poulter. And last but not least, there's the artistic, Scandinavian-looking Pelle. I hope to God I'm saying that right. And he's played by Vilhelm Blomgren. And it's actually Pelle who's taking the group on this trip to his rural Swedish hometown of Hagra to attend this 9-day festival of theatre-like pageantry and rituals, which occurs once every 90 years. When they arrive at Pelle's community, they're greeted by a warm and inclusive band of brothers and sisters. But as the film proceeds, the customs, festivities, and traditions of the community end up becoming increasingly more unorthodox and kind of disturbing. Midsommar is a film that I would call an experience. It's a film that needs to be watched to be fully appreciated. There is a lot of drug use in this film, a lot of mushrooms being taken, and this entire film is kind of like a bad acid trip. It's heavy, it's surreal, it's fucked up, and you can't wait for it to be over. It's an exercise in viewing discomfort, something that Ari Aster is developing quite the reputation for. There is so much to praise about this film technically. Ari Aster has succeeded in picking the best people to bring his artistic vision to life. All the elements of this film, production design, costumes, music, the acting, everything works in harmony together. This film really does feel cohesive. The cinematography by Poulter is some of the most striking I've ever seen. The color palette of the festival uses a lot of harsh greens, blues, and yellows. It works with the film's themes of nature and the summer season, but it's got this sinister sheen to it. The contrast of it is so vibrant that it's almost hard to look at. You kind of want to squint in places because it's so bright. It ties in nicely with the costume design by Andrea Flesch. The predominantly white linen outfits that the people in the cult wear add a touch of purity, which is an almost ironic juxtaposition to all the darkness that this film likes to hide. The production design of the village is immaculate, almost an idyllic utopia. And the interior artwork of this communal bedroom where all the characters sleep is the perfect metaphor for this location. From a distance, it looks absolutely gorgeous, but when you get up close to it and see the detail with your own eyes, you can see there's a lot of distressing imagery within the canvas. The devil really is in the details, and there's an abundance of these little details hidden in every beautiful wide shot that Ari Aster employs, or even the beautiful slow pans you see across like embroidered sheets and clothing. There's so much foreshadowing in this. If you pay attention to the very first shot of this scene, you'll see how much of it is foreshadowed in this one little embroidered piece of artwork. And there's other details that you might not catch on the first viewing, like why is Christian's drink on the table a slightly darker shade of pink? I mean, the real reason is absolutely disgusting. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's nasty. This is a film which kind of needs to be watched twice so you can try and spot the things you missed the first time in the mise-en-scène. There is a lot of symbolism and a lot of foreshadowing. Ari Aster doesn't waste a single shot in this film. There's probably loads of it that went over my head. The camera work is also twistedly visceral and and it works in tandem with the inescapable grief that Dani is going through. One scene follows Dani from a living room in an apartment to the bathroom stall on a plane. The intersections of the themes of the film and the editing are blurred beautifully together here and done very well by editor Lucian Johnston. There's another clever shot where the group are driving in a car through Sweden, and as they enter Hälsingland, where the festival is, the camera, which is on a drone, ends up turning upside down, giving the viewer that feeling that they've just entered a place that's completely topsy-turvy. It's evidence that Ari Aster is a subtextual auteur, and I love that he can create an atmosphere of constant unsettling dread, even in the harsh light of day. I do, however, think Aster could have reeled it in a bit. Midsommar is a slow burn, thought-provoking horror, but it does feel a bit stretched out more than it needs to. This film is like 2.5 hours long, and it does feel a bit of a drag in the middle. There are definitely bits in this that could have been trimmed down. I reckon you could cut at least 20 minutes out of this film and it would still have the same impact. And of course the acting in Midsommar is tremendous. Florence Pugh is a tour de force in this film. It's the type of role that challenges and pushes an actor to the deepest depths, similar to Jennifer Lawrence in Mother, Lupita Nyong'o in Us, and even Toni Collette in Ari Aster's previous film, Hereditary. And like Toni Collette, I'm sure there will be a lot of disgruntled film buffs if Florence Pugh doesn't appear in the Best Actress nominees next year, simply because it's a horror film. In the end, guys, I will say I did enjoy Midsommar, but I didn't love it. I do think it's a fantastically made and beautifully shot film, and it's certainly an ambitious follow-up from Ari Aster, but it does feel a bit overcooked with the ideas that it's presenting. It just feels a little bit self-indulgent, but I did appreciate what Aster was trying to do. This film does have something to say about how modern people are struggling to find meaningful connection. At one point, Pelle says to Dani, "Does Christian make you feel like you're home?" And this Swedish community's customs may seem strange, but one thing that they excel at is being connected to each other. From the moment they arrive, they make eye contact, they hug, they hold hands, they touch, they make you feel part of a community. You are a brother, a sister, part of their family. And there's also another powerful shot in this where the imagery is very symbolic. It's where Dani is grieving over the relationship being essentially ended, and all these sisters of the community share in this grief. It's a very powerful shot, and it says that grief isn't something that we should go through alone. It's something that we should share. So it's time to ask those 3 questions. Firstly, will I watch this again? Yes, like I said before, this is a film that I think will benefit from a second viewing to see if I can catch the stuff that I missed on the first viewing. So yeah, I'm gonna watch this a second time. It's quite gory though, so I don't know if I'll watch it a third time. Question number 2, would I recommend it for you guys? Ooh, that's a tough one because this is quite an uncomfortable film. It's a slow burn, it's gory, it's got very graphic sex scenes, as well as some drug use. It's certainly not for the squeamish. If you guys are a fan of slow burn, thought-provoking, psychological horror, then I'd say, yep, go check this one out. If you guys don't care for that stuff, then miss it. And third question, what score am I gonna give it out of 10? Like I said before, I did enjoy this film. I didn't love it, but I can appreciate so many technical aspects of it and how it did all work in harmony together. Florence Pugh gives a powerhouse performance in it. So I'm going to give Midsommar a score of 7.5 out of 10. There we go, guys. That is my review of Midsommar. But remember, this is just one bloke's opinion. I want to hear from you guys. Have you seen this film? What did you think of it? Did it fuck you up? Whatever you guys think of this film, be sure to let me know in that comment section down below. If you guys do like my channel and want to help me out, please don't forget to click that thumbs up button and of course hit subscribe. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, you can find all my social media links in that video description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.